The absolute value of a number is the distance the number is from 0 on the number line. If the absolute value of x is equal to 4, then x can be both 4 and negative 4, because they are both 4 units away from 0. We can use a preliminary number line to help set up our equations and inequalities. Our preliminary number line would be negative 10 to 10, and we're 3x plus 4 units away from 0 on both sides. Because we are in absolute value, I have two choices, and I must set up two equations. The first equation for the negative side, the second equation is for the positive side. So we set up the equation 3x plus 4, taking it out of the absolute value symbol, is equal to negative 10, or 3x plus 4 is equal to positive 10. And now we solve for x on both of these. Let's start with the left side. Subtract 4 from both sides, and 3x is equal to negative 14. Now we're going to divide both sides by 3. The first answer is x equals negative 14 over 3. Now let's look at the next equation. First thing we want to do is subtract 4 from both sides, just like we did in this equation. So 3x is equal to 6, 10 minus 4 is 6, and divide by 3. X is equal to 2. So 3x plus 4 did indeed lie between negative 10 and 10. Our first solution was x equals negative 14 over 3, which is the same thing as negative 4 and 2/3. And the next equation, or x equals 2. So the answer between negative 14 over 3, and this is a dot, and 2. We're using dots to represent the location that it's equal to. Remember, absolute value, we set up two equations, we have two answers. Example 2. 13x minus 5x is going to lie between negative 2 and positive 2. It's going to be 13 minus 5x is going to be the distance from 0 in both directions. Now we set up two equations. How many? Two equations. And I'm going to have two answers. Take 13x minus 5x out of the absolute value, and we're going to set it equal to negative 2 or 2. First thing I want to do here is combine like terms. 13x minus 5x is 8x. Now we divide by 8. So x equals negative 1 over 4. That's one of the answers, one of the possible answers. Or we have to also do the right-hand side. So 13x minus 5x, combine like terms, and we get 8x is equal to positive 2. Divide both sides by 8, and x is equal to 1/4. So there's the other possible answer, and I do need to graph those. Now we're going to look at absolute value inequalities with a less than symbol. It will always give you a between statement. So less than symbol will give you a between statement. Let's look at y. Remember, our preliminary answer will go between negative 8 and 8. Because it's an equal to sign, these will be solid dots. Now 3x minus 4 is going to the distance towards 0. This is towards the absolute value. So towards 0 in both directions. So this is going to give us an in-between statement. So we would shade in between -8 and 8 because it's in between. So we know our answer will lie between these two places. So this means that when I set this up, I set it up as an in-between statement. 3x minus 4 is between -8 and 8. So it's in between. It's in between here and here. So it has to be between -8 and 8 in the equation. Now we're going to solve. We're looking at the middle piece. How do I get x by itself? Add 4 to all three sides. So we're going to add 4 on the left, add 4 in the middle, and add 4 to the right. So we get -8 plus 4 is -4 is less than or equal to 3x, because that goes away, is less than or equal to 12. Now I still have a 3x. I need a 1x. We divide all three sides by 3. So we get -4 over 3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 4. So the answer is between -4 over 3 and 4. These are solid dots because the original equation had a less than symbol. And because it's in between going towards the absolute value, going towards 0, our graph will look like this. The answer is -4 over 3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 4. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 has a greater than sign. That means it's going away from 0. I still have two solutions. One is set up with -14. The other solution, or the other equation, is set up with +14. Only this time we're going away. So we will set up the first equation. 6 minus 2x is less than -14, or 6 minus 2x is greater than +14. In the preliminary, it will look like -14. It's less than, so it's an open dot going this direction because it's going away from 0. And +14 is also going away from 0, and these are open dots. It's not going towards, so it's not an in-between. And let's solve this one. Subtract 6 from both sides, and we get -2x is less than -20. Then we divide by -2. When we divide by a negative, we want to flip the inequality symbol. So we get x is greater than 10. So our new equation, x is greater than 10. Now let's look at the other side. So I knew I have this side done, but I don't have this side complete. So after we subtract 6 from both sides, we have -2x is greater than 8. Now divide by -2. Well, remember, when we divide by a negative, we flip the inequality symbol. So x is less than -4. So the graph would be going this way. So the answer is x is less than -4, or x is greater than 10. Last problem. Notice we have 3 minus x here. Remember, this is 6 minus 2x and this is 6 minus 2x. I didn't write that down. The absolute value of 3 minus x is less than 2. The preliminary graph would have us going from negative 2 to 2, and since this is going towards the absolute value, this is going towards 0. So 3 minus x would be going towards 0, so this is the in-between. I also am solving for two things, negative 2 or 2. So negative 2 is less than 3 minus x is less than 2. Because it's an in-between statement, we're going to set it in between our two possible answers, or two possible solutions. First thing we want to do is subtract 3 from all three sides. We get negative 5 is less than negative x is less than negative 1. Now we want to divide by negative 1. 5 is greater than 1x is greater than 1, because remember, when we divide by negative, we flip the inequality. But we don't write our numbers in order from 5 to 1. This doesn't make sense. It's always least to greatest. And we know the answer is sitting in between these two spots. So that would mean I would need to flip everything around. So 1 is less than x is less than 5. So the solution is 1 is less than x is less than 5.